All right. Hello, everyone. We're going to do another tutorial today on hue and saturation and how we can use uh, colors in our image and change them around to match different colors or not in our image. So right now I have this picture of this friend of mine taken a few years ago. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the color of his shirt. That's what we're gonna try and do today. So what we're gonna do, just gonna move this around here. What I'd like to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to hit new adjustment layer. It's this half circle little thing there. Click on that. And we've got a whole bunch of options here. And I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up and I'm going to hit hue saturation. That's the button I'm going to push there. So click on that and you'll have a new adjustment layer that pops up here. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to start changing the colors. I'm just gonna just make it kind of wacky, right? You'll see that it changes the entire everything about this image, right? It totally shifts the hue. The hue is the color in the image, right? So it's kind of going through a spectrum and making it all crazy. Your other option is saturation. What saturation does is it's basically how vibrant, how bright the color is. It's the intensity of the color, right? So if I have it like this, we can make it black and white, or I can crank it up so that it's just totally distorted. Just going to go ahead and just reset that back to 0. Finally, lightness is obviously the lightness or darkness of your image. Now, we have one other option here we can do is colorize. What colorize does is, first of all, it makes it everything kind of monotone, one color, but then we can, it's obviously black and white here. So what we can do here is we can play with our saturation. So once I start playing with that, it's going to make everything kind of one color, right? So it's kind of like a black and white photo, but all the grays are, in this case, orange, right? And you can make this as intense or light as you'd like. And lightness and darkness still stay the same, right? So we can kind of tone it down if we wanted a darker photo or a lighter photo. So that's a kind of a neat function that we can play with there. Just gonna hit this, bring it back to normal. I'm going to turn my saturation down to 0. I'm going to leave my hue funky for now. Okay. Next, I want to change just the color of his shirt, right? I want to maybe make it the same color as the wall. So when you make an adjustment layer, there's always this mask that comes with it, right? So this mask is always usually signified by this white box, and we can paint in that mask using black and white in order to make it different. So I'm going to go ahead and make my one brush black and my other brush white, and I can push the X key to switch between them. I want to fill this entire layer with black. So if you guys remember, black conceals, so that means I can't see it. Right? I'm going to conceal whatever I've done in this hue saturation layer if I paint black on it, and white reveals, right? So then I will be able to see everything, all the changes that I've made. So right now we've got a white layer. That means we can see everything, okay? If I push Control and I, what that does is it inverts my mask. So it's inverting it. The opposite of white is black, and there it is. So now it's back to normal, right? But the cool thing is now I can go in and I can use a white brush. I'm going to push a B on my keyboard or click the brush tool here. And I can paint, start a nice big brush here. I can paint in where I want the color to actually change. So I'm just going to make a kind of a crude pass here first, all over his shirt. And you notice that it's taking the information from below and it's making it visible on top. Let's take a moment to make this perfect. Once you got everything all selected here, I can switch it back to black, pushing X or this little button down here, the color swap. So X goes back and forth, and if I start painting again with black, brush a little smaller, you can use the hard bracket keys, the keys right beside the letter P, in order to make your brush bigger or smaller. Now I'm going to just kind of go through and I'm going to start erasing, or masking, not erasing, masking the spots that I went too far. So we don't want him to look like the Hulk. We could, let's see what it looks like. We could make him look like the Hulk if we wanted to, but we won't. So masking like this, it's always kind of a give and take sort of a thing, right? You kind of get closer and closer and closer, and then you eventually, like I kind of screwed up here, but I'll come back and I'll get that again. See there again. That's okay. So you want to get as close as you can. Nice. Back in. A little bit I missed here too. All right, almost there. That's pretty good. Fair enough for now. So now what I can do is I can go back into my hue panel here and I can start changing the colors, right? So if I wanted to have a purple shirt, if I wanted to have him a yellow shirt, I can also change the saturation. So if he wants to have a really purple shirt, we can make it like that, really blue. Also play with the lightness. So if I crank this all the way down, it's going to look like he's got kind of a gray shirt. If I play with the darkness here, lightness, it's going to make him look like he's got a darker shirt on. Colorize it, what happens? You can really start to make it look pretty funky. Let's turn that back. So anyway, I want to match my the shirt here with the wall, this kind of teal blue wall. So let's just crank this back to 0 just for now. It's going to reset everything. Okay, so he's got this pink shirt. I can actually go in and I can make it affect just particular parts of my image too as well. So when I do the master, it affects everything, right? But if I just want, say the reds to be affected, it's going to affect just kind of the reds of the image. So then I'm just, when I do this, before it kind of blew the whole thing out, but now I can get a little bit more control over what I want it to do. So again, I'm going to try and make this the color of the wall here. Find that light blue. Let's get pretty close there. Oh, that's pretty good. We'll turn down the saturation a bit. We'll turn down the brightness so it's a little bit more dull. It's not bad. So pretty close there, right? You can kind of see how close things are going. Oops. It's not bad. It's pretty good. And we could also go in and play with like the magentas. There's going to be stuff in there that might need some changing as well. So red was the right one. Something like that looks pretty good. So there you have it. That's how you can use hue saturation with masking in order to make a really strong image, right? So this was our original. So I totally changed the color of his shirt by masking his shirt and then playing with the hue saturation levels to that. All right, guys, keep working on this, and we'll see you in class.